The Elf and the Shoemaker. Late one night a shoemaker sat, cutting his leather with a snip, snip, snap, watched by his wife and watched by his cat. "I'll sew the shoes tomorrow," said the shoemaker, when he went to bed hungry. There was no bread in the cupboard. It was bare. There was nothing there. In the morning, when he opened his eyes, there on the bench was a big surprise. One had a stitch in the shoes, but who? The shoemaker blinked and scratched his head. "What teeny tiny stitches," he said. "Who could be doing a thing like that? Not me," meowed the cat. He sold the shoes for a very good price, and he bought more leather and meat and rice. They had a good supper that night. Then he cut the leather with a snip, snip, snap. "I'm ever so tired," he said to the cat. "I can't stop yawning. I'll stitch these in the morning." In the morning, when he opened his eyes, there on the bench was a big surprise. 4 pair of shoes stitched in the night. The shoemaker blinked and scratched his head. "What teeny tiny stitches," he said. "Who could be doing a thing like that? Not me," meowed the cat. Customers came to the shop in queues when they heard about the beautiful shoes. They tried them on and soon they were all gone. And now, with all the money he'd made, the shoemaker went to the market and paid for leather in blue and green and red. He cut the leather with a snip, snip, snap, and he watched his wife, and he watched by the cat. His wife says, "Now, we'll see what happens with that." The next morning, when they got out of bed, they found shoes in blue and green and red. "Such teeny tiny stitches," the shoemaker said. From far away, when they heard the news, people came to the shop in queues. "What beautiful shoes," they cried. "It's too hard to choose." The shoemaker sat and counted his money. He thought, "Isn't it funny? I'm suddenly rich and I haven't seen a stitch." The shoemaker's wife said, "We have to find whoever's been being so kind. Let's watch our workshop tonight." So they left the candle burning bright, and there they hid in the dead of night. Midnight chimed and the door went creak, and out came 3 little elves, skipping in with silver stools and a teeny tiny tin, but their clothes were threadbare and thin. Their silver hammers went tip, tip, tap, and they cut the sword with a snip and a snap. The shoes were made in a flash. And when the elves had left, the shoemaker's wife says, "I've never seen that all in my life. 3 little elves, so threadbare. I'll sew them all new clothes to wear." She sewed a tiny dress and a tiny jacket and tiny tartan trousers with pockets, and the shoemaker made tiny little beautiful boots. The very next night, they left the clothes on the bench and the 3 neat rows. Then they hid themselves to watch for the elves. When the elves found the suits and the tiny little boots, they put them on and danced through the door singing, "Shoes we'll make here no more." The shoemaker and his wife had never seen another elf, the shoemaker's stitches and shoes himself, but the very next day he was always grateful for dinner on his plate. And every night to the window he creeps, for he made a promise that he still keeps. "Thank you, elves," he whispered, and then he sleeps.